It wasn't until I had children of my own that I understood the story of the prodigal son. We are the ambassadors of Christianity. Some events brought me closer to God and others further away. But trust and believe everything happens for a reason when you're searching for your identity in Christ. The 4-State Challenge. So believe it or not, it is possible to set foot in 4 different states while hiking the Appalachian Trail in one day. And those 4 states are Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland, and Pennsylvania. The total number of miles in the 4-State Challenge is 43. At least it was in 2005 when I hiked it. And you have a 24-hour period to finish. So, of course, it is marked where the border between Virginia and West Virginia is so that one can clearly see where to begin. Even in the dark, like in my case, a few warnings for those who would try and complete this ultrathon. The first little bit of caution that Harper's Ferry is one of the 9 trail towns and is steeped in U.S. history, including the cell that held famous abolitionist John Brown. So as a thru hiker, don't start at midnight like I chose to do because you won't be able to see what the heck you're doing, and no stores, including the AT headquarters, will be open. The second word of caution would be the 4-State Challenge goes through Maryland as one of the states occupying. And this is the location of the Blair Woods, famously known for the Blair Witch Project movie, which became quite famous. I had seen the movie, and up to this point, I would say that it was the scariest movie that I had seen. There was a rumor at the time when the movie came out that the footage in the movie was actually real, but I didn't know that I was hiking through the Blair Woods in the dark. Anyways, the first few hours of hiking was directly along the C&O Canal, which was at least 6 miles or so on flat land. Once I hit the Blair Woods, though, I started to go fast. Fast for hiking and with a weighted backpack is somewhere around 4 miles per hour, whereas my average pace was around 3 miles per hour. I can remember constantly looking to the left and to the right, half expecting some kind of a floating apparition to be gliding in my direction. And when I felt this, I probably was going closer to about 4.5 miles an hour. So the breakdown of mileage would be 0 in Virginia, 3 miles in West Virginia, and 39 miles in Maryland, only to cross the Mason-Dixon to finish the 4-State Challenge in Pennsylvania at the Penmar State Park. To prepare for the amount of calories that I was going to burn that day, or that 24-hour time period, I simply took 1 large jar of peanut butter, a large jar of jelly, and a normal-sized loaf of bread. I probably made about a dozen peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, which I had pre-made and stuffed into the original bread bag. So as you can imagine, eating a dozen peanut butter and jelly sandwiches would be extremely difficult to eat in a 24-hour time period. But I had them easily polished off by 4 p.m. and was out of food. It's a strange feeling when you run out of food during an event like this because at some point your body is such a well-oiled machine that you can feel when it switches from glucose to body fat. It feels like adding a 50-pound weight to your pack with the confusion of just waking up from surgery. Luckily, by the time I started to feel this type of exhaustion, I was only about 10 miles from completing my goal. I was so anxious to finally cross over into my home state, and my mom and dad were actually there waiting for me at Penmar State Park, which was an awesome finish line to cross because it's literally marked Mason-Dixon, or the official crossing from the south into the north. The entire event took a total of 19 hours and some change. My parents gladly took me to an all-you-can-eat buffet so I could make up for lost calories, and then to a motel. This is the first time I had ever done this, but I fell face first into the mattress as I fell asleep with my boots on. And when I woke up at 10 a.m. the next morning, I was still face down with no covers on, and my parents said I didn't even budge the entire night. I thought about Pitt, my host father's 40-day fast, quite a bit during the 4-State Challenge, you see. The lesson to this story is that the mind is so much stronger than the body could ever be. And I haven't told the longest first-day hike story yet, but my point is, the confidence from one victory plays into the challenges that follow. And the confidence that you build doesn't fade away, but instead becomes part of you forever. I encourage you to challenge yourself so that you can learn your limits and then shatter them.